Welcome back to Podcast Radio. I'm Andy.
I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Joe.
You guys have any news things that you were wanting to get out of your head, or not really? I'm kind of Charlie Kirked out.
Yeah, not anything that comes to mind, really.
The only thing I saw that, and it's not a news.
You see that Cowboy game?
Oh, 40-40?
Yeah.
Yeah, good night.
But you didn't have
That's
anything.
pathetic.
Man, that's awful.
It's the worst. I mean, at least we know they can score points. They just can't.
Stop them. I think somebody said on there, like, a tie is like kissing your sister, and Dak says, well, good thing I don't have a sister.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, you know what? They could have won or lost. They're still going to catch crap. I mean, I get it. Yeah, but I did see the game.
It was a good game. I mean, it was back and forth, and at one point I thought Dallas was going to win.
I did too.
But they couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were going to win by virtue of wishing they would win. I love the team, but
It's not their style to win.
Winning is a style, and you're outdated, buddy. Yeah, no, I agree with you there. I did watch it. I stayed up late to watch a tie.
Till midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, hey, they say Micah Parsons stopped the one run that could have ended the game or whatever, but, hey, good for him.
Yeah.
I bet they're regretting trading them, huh?
I don't know. Maybe.
They should.
He probably regrets a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like Ezekiel Elliott. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of bad. I don't know. Hey, but when I did watch that documentary on Netflix about him, it opens your eyes about him a little bit more. Makes you understand Jerry Jones more. And where I never saw him that way. I always thought he's the bad guy. No, not really. If you kind of hear his side of things, why he does what he does, you kind of understand at least why he's doing it.
So wait, you're pro Jerry?
I am.
So
What?
this curated propaganda piece that Jerry Jones scripted.
I'm not that I'm saying I'm pro Jerry. I'm just saying I understand why he does what he does.
What's that saying, Andy? The world is a stage and everyone is an actor.
Yeah.
And action. Yeah. Yeah, he shed light on some things that he wanted to do, I guess, and how he did it. As a father, I think that's a cool deal. All he wanted to do was have a big business that his family could work together with him.
Right.
And he accomplished that. Now, does he win? No. He is a go-getter. I mean, he struck that last well just enough to buy the Cowboys, did some changes that no one's ever done what he's done and had those results.
Right.
So I have to give him that.
I don't know. I think I'm just going to have to watch that
The Browns have
Netflix series.
like 30 years of not going to the Super Bowl.
I mean, but their
We've done
history.
it.
That's mean. We'll edit that out. We'll just have it.
And if they can do it, the Cowboys can do it.
No, we can't. We can't seem to get back there. But I mean, it was pretty interesting to watch the documentary. It kind of lets you see the beef between him and Jimmy Johnson. What the beef was about.
Yeah, I want a better understanding about that.
I had the biggest question. Do you know what it's about?
What?
Well, I don't want to ruin it for you. But what the
Yeah, let
beef's
me
about.
watch it. I'll get back to you.
Okay. You should watch it too, Andy.
Okay.
Watch it and see what you think. I know you're not a Cowboys fan, but, it to me, I was like, because I was, Jerry. And I'm like, wait a minute. I see what he's doing. It makes sense what he was trying to achieve. Now, he made it the biggest franchise ever, turned into a big business. I mean, come on. I can't fault the guy for being successful at what he's doing. Does he put together a great team? No. Do we have issues? Oh, yeah. But some cool stories, some backstories, to hear these players just get emotional about it, like Aikman, Irvin, Emmett,
Right.
just like, man, it's pretty interesting. I won't
Did you
sell it.
cry any?
Maybe. Emmett Smith can make me cry. I don't know what it is about him. When he tells a story, I'm just like, oh, Emmett, you're going to get me. Every time, so yeah, no, I get you. But try it and see what you think about that.
Okay. Well, it's October 1st, right? Yeah, or 2nd. I don't know, whatever day it is. But it's the first episode for October, so I thought we would do one about the Titanic.
Love it.
You love it?
Do.
Did you like it when it came out?
No.
Oh, no. Man, I did. So I read it it was, I don't know if it was Entertainment Weekly or something, when I first heard that James Cameron was going to do it. And it was just like on the side of one of the pages, like James Cameron is working on a love story for the Titanic. And I was like, whoa, that is a good idea. Can you imagine a love story on the Titanic? You know,
I bet there's a lot going on.
I was like, man, that is awesome. So I was excited for it when it came out and saw it. I think I saw it twice in the theater.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see where you're going to go with this subject.
Oh, no. Oh, okay. Well, with it. Yeah. For October. Okay. So we did an episode 96 Rothschild Bank. So Andrew Jackson is the only president to defeat the central bank, which we have now, the Federal Reserve. And when he was done with his presidency, it kicked out the Rothschild banks. And the United States had no debt. He paid off the debt, the only president ever to do that. And then no taxes or anything. We didn't have income tax or anything. So here we come. That was in, I can't remember, episode 96. So this is kind of like a part 2 continuation where I guess the Empire Strikes Back, the Rothschild banks, the Federal Reserve is coming back. So this will be like part 2. And it has stuff to do with the Titanic. So we know about the Titanic. It's pretty much what, the movie
right,
goes off. It gets hit by an iceberg and a lot of people die on it. But so there's a couple authors, John Hamer and Kenneth Price Jr. So if you are interested in the subject at all, look up their books. And they got all the like footnotes and stuff like that of what even more evidence than I even had brought for this episode. So the Olympic, it's the first of the White Star Line. So J.P. Morgan purchased the White Star Line, and it was a British shipping company. But Americans couldn't buy British shipping companies. That was against the law. They didn't allow foreigners to come in and buy up their products. So
the British didn't?
Yeah, the British didn't. So what they did, J.P. Morgan's a millionaire. In order for him to buy it, he had to make an agreement that when they went to war, because World War I was coming up, that he would allow the British troops to use those as like transport ships. So all these big giant ships that they're building. So the Olympics, the first one. The second one's the Titanic, and then the Britannic is the third one. So the Olympic was built, and shortly after it was built, they're going into port. The Isle of Wight in England, the UK over there, they were going into a narrow passage, and it rammed into like a Navy ship, and it like put a big gash in the side of it. And so J.P. Morgan, he went through investigation and everything, was trying to get insurance on it, Well, it happened in England. So of course you hit a English ship, they're going to go in favor of the English ship. So he didn't get paid any insurance out of that. It all had to come out of his fortune. And then a second wreck when he was in Sandy Hook in New Jersey area, it scraped across another ship, a shipwreck this time in the water, and put even more damage to it. So the second wreck, of this ship finally rendered it almost inoperable. They said, you're not going to be able to, this isn't going to be a seaworthy ship for you to use. You're going to have to be like 20 miles an hour. You go any faster than that, it's like rattling. Ship engineers said, this is completely destroyed whatever is in a ship that makes it work. The warp drive, if Scotty was on the ship, it's done. You're done. And so he's in, he's going to lose like millions of dollars. So the plan is we're going to go ahead and do a ship swap. So the Titanic was being built. They made a big deal of it. And some of the proof that they use is just what pictures of the Olympic were, how many portholes it had, what the front of it looked like. They use photographic evidence. And then what Titanic looked like. It was way different. It was more more improved, more modernized. And so they're using photographic evidence of the Olympic, which they say that's what's at the bottom of the ocean. Photographic evidence from what it looks like down there, and then also when it was floating around. So that was just one reason that they did a ship swap. He could recoup all of his millions back. And apparently that was something that they did a lot back in the day. They would wreck a ship, scuttle a ship, and they would get the insurance money on it, which I didn't know.
So what's at the bottom of the ocean? Isn't the Titanic?
It's the Olympic, is what John Hamer and Kenneth Price Jr. are claiming. They've done a lot of study in it. I mean, years of study, not just like, I found this interesting, got a few articles, let me cut some out of the newspaper. You know what I mean? One guy spent 4 years doing his research.
Really?
So there's a lot of footnotes, like I said, and stuff in their books, if this interests you. But that was only one reason. So back to the Rothschild banks, right? So in 1910 on Jekyll Island, they had a meeting, and this is like in Georgia, and this is where the rich guys of different countries got together, and they wanted to take the United States money and put it in a Federal Reserve. And then it would make them richer than all the money that gets printed that gets taxed. Well, they had a few people who were rich, but they were against it. So, number one, Benjamin Guggenheim. Have you ever heard of Guggenheim? Mm-hmm. They got like a big art gallery in New York City. Okay. John Jacob Astor. Have you heard of him? The Astor? Okay. He's a real famous one. They got a TV show on him right now. Isidore Straus. Now, that guy owned Macy's department store.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And then Charles Lindbergh Sr. You've heard of the Lindbergh, like Lindbergh baby and all that stuff. So all four of these people were against the Federal Reserve because they knew this was going to reduce their fortunes. Mm-hmm. Well, strangely enough, all four of these people were on the Titanic, and all four of them died when it went down. So a few other weird things that happened on the Titanic. J.P. Morgan, of course, owned the line. He booked a passage on the ship, but before it went off, he canceled his passage on it, and he took all of his personal items off of it. He had a bunch of like artwork and stuff that he was shipping to New York, and that's where the ship was going, and that's where he wanted it to go. So strange thing to pull it all off when it's going to go there eventually anyways, which it did later. Like, why not just go ahead and send it ahead? You'll pick it up there, because he knew they wasn't going to make it. Yeah, he knew it was going down. So,
what?
I know,
this is
Jeremy.
Crazy.
I know you think this is funny, but I'm being serious. So there was about 50 first class passengers whom were friends with J.P. Morgan, who also canceled their stays and didn't go on the trip either. So any of his acquaintances or friends, so it kind of sounds like
he warned them.
Yeah, that's what the speculation is. Like, he warned them. Like, why did all these people? This is a big deal. It's in the newspapers, and like anybody who's anybody was going to want to be on this thing. It sounds like kind of like 9/11 people who got pre-warned. Oklahoma City bombing. Don't show up for work. Don't go on that day. Don't fly on 9/11. People got warned about that. It sounds like it's the same script as they've done more than one time before. So what?
Nobody told Rose and Jack.
No. Poor Jack.
Jack. There's a door. I mean, come on. Could have held everybody.
Mm-hmm. So anyways, then we all know the story. It goes out. It hits an iceberg. Maybe. Did an iceberg do that? Rip a hole in it? Did metal destroy itself? Steel?
See, when we were on the cruise and we saw icebergs, little ones flowing through, that's the first thing I thought. Crap, it's going to sink me, and it's cold. But I already knew my life pattern where to go to get on my boat and swim or live. But it's creepy looking.
Yeah, when you were in Alaska is what you're saying, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I didn't see big icebergs like I'm sure they were seeing, but they were still little iceberg turds floating around. I thought, man, that could cut the ship. I didn't even know it. I'm asleep or watching TV and I'm sinking. But I thought the same thing.
Oh, yeah. 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 I mean, I always thought that too, but I never thought about like, you know, when we saw the movie and the ship goes up and then it just breaks in half, you know, like it's made out of balsa wood or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I never thought about like, yeah, that ship's made out of steel beams. How did they just, you know, destroy themselves?
Right.
Kind of like, you know,
So what we
World
saw,
Trade Center.
we saw in the movie it did this and it broke. Is that what they're saying
Yeah.
really happened though?
No.
They're saying that it did do that. And,
no, they're questioning how did steel break itself?
But that's what I'm saying. What we saw in the movie is what history's saying happened to the ship underwater right now.
Yeah,
That it snapped.
because underwater now it's in two pieces.
Okay, I got you.
Well, do you think that maybe that gauge of steel was a lot less than what we use today? Like we use those kind of instances to learn to make better quality ships today?
I don't know.
I
mean, it's a good question, but I'm just saying, steel breaking steel. I mean, what, they make it out of aluminum foil, or I mean, it's still a steel beam.
I mean, it's such a big ship. It's
That's my
super
hat.
heavy. So I'm thinking in terms of cutting weight, they use thinner steel or cut back on some of that steel.
So you think it's possible that steel could do that?
I think it's possible that maybe an iceberg could have caused some damage that led to other events, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what I'm thinking now.
So when it was discovered, the Titanic was discovered, that's when they said the movie was put on a fast track because, you know, they had these photos being released of the ship in two pieces. So another conspiracy about it is that's why this movie was even made, to put out a script of what happened. You know?
Really?
And, you know, they use movies all the time to put stuff in our brains, you know, so it was discovered, and then shortly a few years later, this movie, and it, at the time, was the most expensive movie ever made.
When was the Titanic discovered? Do we know?
Yeah, it was in there, but I didn't write it down.
Oh, I was just curious.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. So, I mean, I think it got up to 300 million or something. I remember when they were making it, I was like, they was keep, you know,
crazy.
and it was over budget, and they just kept increasing it and made the movie.
And it paid itself off.
Oh, yeah.
didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, big time.
September 1st, 1985.
Wow.
September 1, 85. So, some other weird things about it. So, JP Morgan owned the White Star Line, and he had another line called the Red Star Line. So, 5 days before the Titanic left port, the Californian, was a ship that he owned, and it left 5 days before the Titanic left. All that it was carrying, there wasn't passengers on it or anything, but they had a cargo of 3,000 wool blankets and 3,000 wool sweaters. And it was sitting out in the ice field area where the Titanic went down. So it's like it drove out there, parked out there, and waited for this to happen. And the theory is he did not intend to kill, you know, he wasn't wanting to kill everybody on the ship, obviously. He wasn't a psychopath, JP Morgan. So he was intending to have this ship come, you know, pick up these people. And so that's another weird thing. You know, the ship owned by him leaves 5 days before Titanic leaves, and that's all it's carrying. And then once it happened, you know, it traveled, you know, however, a couple hours to get there, and by then, you know, most everybody was already dead.
So if they think the Olympic is down at the bottom of that, where do you think the Titanic is now?
So the Titanic, what happened to that was It was in.
I don't mean to jump ahead of your.
Oh no, that's fine.
Okay.
No, because like I said, this stuff's been sitting around for a few weeks, so I was like, I kind of didn't have a timeline to go through. But the Titanic's, it was in World War I, and they used it to transport troops. There's even articles where it rammed a U-boat and took it down. But I mean, so they're saying this is the Olympic, but there's proof that the Olympic was in wrecks that it would make it impossible to go ahead.
This couldn't be the Olympic considering the wrecks it's had.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been able to be floating around for 2 or 3 more decades. And it eventually was totally scrapped. But there's photos of it. And, some of these photos are the photos they use as proof. Like, this is a Titanic, and they'll count the portholes. They'll do some of the design of the ship and how the Titanic looked, and the improvements that were made on the Titanic are different from the Olympic, and they'll use historical photos. So I thought it was interesting because it was in this ship was sold and scrapped between 1935 and 1937. So they're wanting you to believe that the Olympic was in all these wrecks, but still was able to, putz around the ocean for another 40 years.
And hit U-boats.
And be used as a warship,
Why would you scrap this amazing piece of history then? It makes you wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get rid of this too, because later, get rid of the crime scene,
Wow.
So I thought that was interesting. That's another interesting piece.
I'm watching this paint job on this.
Yeah, that was for, I think, just camouflage.
Oh, okay.
And then another. So, I mean, there is. I'm just giving you 2 or 3 weird things that happened during this. What the conspiracy theory is that he ultimately wanted to recoup his money, because it affected a lot of people, not only him and his fortune, but also the English government.
Right.
If they ended up voting in favor of, getting rid of they were at fault, and
right.
all these men that built the ship were out of a job.
Oh, yeah.
Then who do you think they're going to vote for next time? There's going to be a whole flip of the government in England. So
right.
they had, an iron in the fire too to go, let's go ahead and let's say this was an actual wreck. Yes, this was
by the iceberg.
Right, iceberg and all that.
By the technology we have today, whether this is the Titanic or the Olympic, whatever, we know there's a ship down there.
Mm-hmm.
With evidence points that it is not the Titanic. Do you think they could safely retrieve that? Or they just don't want to?
I think it's too far down. I don't. It's too far down. I don't think. I mean, if they have technology to get some, it is so far down.
We have the technology to tell me the barometric pressure in Pluto
mm-hmm.
and the center of the core of that, but you can't get that out of the bottom of the water.
Well, that's just a little sensor, though, I'm sure.
I'm just saying, piece by piece, cable that sucker out. They can drill into this same ground for oil field in the oceans. Can they just?
But that
they
metal,
tell you how hot the center of the Earth is.
Yeah, with cold water that sits on it.
You know what the thing is? That metal's probably so brittle and thin that if you
started bringing it up, it just fall apart.
Break again. Yeah,
it probably would.
But I'd say bring it anyway. It's going to dissolve down there. Save what you can save. Bring it up. Study what you're going to study. Oh, but we don't want to shed light on their poo-poo lies, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe you think maybe that's what it is. They could bring pieces up. Haven't they brought pieces of the Titanic?
Like plates and
stuff, and then bottles of wine and sell them for a lot of money. Stuff like that.
How deep is that thing?
It's miles.
It's far.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I found a weird article. So the captain of the ship supposedly died on the Titanic, went down. But then I found an article in Life magazine in which they mentioned this guy, Silent Smith. 28 years ago, Captain E.J. Smith of the SS Titanic disappeared in New York. 3 years later, an unknown penniless man whom the local police called Silent Smith died in Ohio. The stranger wouldn't talk except to mutter Smith when asked his name. Undoubtedly, he was an Irish seaman. Anyways, it goes on to say that this is the captain of the Titanic. Like, he did live. And so that was another, and that was, they got a picture of his body, and like they had exhumed it and everything. And I'm like, wow. But I thought that was interesting that a lot of the people that either were involved in it got immediate, like sweet commands of different things, like, oh, you're going to be the foreman of this shipping company, or rewarded for, and they were the ones that were involved with wrecking into something. But anyways, so there was a few predictive programming things that I had printed out. I thought you guys might like. So some weird facts. So A Night to Remember is a classic 1955 nonfiction book by Walter Lord that provides a minute-by-minute eyewitness account of the sinking of the Titanic. The Wreck of the Titan was a book written in 1898, the novel that foretold the sinking of the Titanic. And this, yeah. Like this was like 12 years before the Titanic went down. The Wreck of the Titanic, on futility of the novel written by Morgan Robertson and published in 1898. And it talks about the largest ship in the line, considered to be unsinkable. It's a British ocean liner. It's called the Titan. It doesn't have enough lifeboats, and it's the story of the Titanic. But it was written 12 years prior to that in a novel. You can still buy this one. And then, so even back then, you could find things that were kind of predictive programming. Yeah. Here's another cool one: Oklahoma City Bombing, The Final Jihad, by Martin Kading. So Governor Frank Keating's brother, Martin Kading, wrote a manuscript in 1981, roughly 4 years before the Oklahoma City bombing. And his brother, Martin, could not... anyways, it got published. It's called The Final Jihad, and in that he predicts the Oklahoma City bombing. He names people that are the same names of people that were involved in the Oklahoma City bombing, like years before it even happened.
That's weird. Everybody
in his family's FBI, or they work for a government organization, and I'm like, well, here's another predictive programming thing that they give us way ahead of time. And then Martin Kading's background, in his own words, is a master storyteller with unique access to government intelligence agencies and clandestine terrorist groups. His brother, Frank, currently was the governor of Oklahoma, is a former FBI agent, an assistant secretary to the Treasury who supervised the Secret Service, U.S. Customs, and the Bureau of ATF. His uncle, Barney Martin, was a career intelligence officer who headed the U.S. Navy's worldwide foreign intelligence collection operations, on and on and on. And then another one that I found. Do you remember the X-Files TV show?
Yeah.
The Lone Gunmen. Do you remember those guys?
No.
It was like...
Okay, that's weird that you just said that. While you were talking about that, I had the X-Files theme song in my head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just like, whoa.
Well, they did... Okay, so the Lone Gunmen were these three guys that Fox Mulder would occasionally go to and get information from. They were like conspiracy crazy guys, but they were real smart with computers and stuff. Well, they came out with a TV show in 2001, the same year that 9/11 occurred, and they have an episode where there's this plane. It's going to get taken over and remotely flown into the World Trade Center, and that episode came out in 2001 before it crashed into the World Trade Center. And so I looked it up and listened to that episode again, and they were like, well, how are they going to crash this plane? Oh, well, they're going to remotely crash it. Well, where's it going? The World Trade Center. And I was like, oh my gosh. And this was just months before that happened. And I'm like, so it's just
crazy.
Strange. Yeah, all the different events that have occurred. There's always like either a book or someone writing a memoir or a TV show or something like that.
There's your spooky twist to the month of October stuff. Like, Yeah, even this stuff has a haunting history.
And I know it's kind of a patchwork episode, but so just to reiterate the timeline, 1910, they have this meeting on Jekyll Island. They want to, start the Federal Reserve. 1912, Titanic or Olympic sinks. 1913, December 23rd, in the middle of the night, the implementation of the Federal Reserve. Congress passes it on the 23rd of December. So, and then Woodrow Wilson signs it later. And then in 1914, we're at war. So, 1910, they have the meeting. 12, let's get rid of the 4 guys that have any power, these millionaires. Let's get rid of them on the Titanic. Also, I'll recoup my money. 1913, I sign it just the very next year, just a few months later. And then 1914, we're at war. And oh, by the way, JP Morgan did sign that agreement that when we do go to war, you can use my ships to transport troops.
Whoa.
So you knew we were going to war, 5 years before this.
So those 4 guys on the ship was a true story about this stuff. Jack and Rose are just kind of a little blurb.
Yeah.
Who really went on this?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
So, I mean, enough circumstantial evidence. That's all it is. All these books are by Kenneth Price Jr. or John Hamer, Hamer, if you're interested. Because I read all of John Hamer's book, and it was really good, I thought. But
that's cool. Makes
Yeah,
you wonder.
It's worth a look.
I don't know. What do you think about this?
You know what he thinks about it. He's laughing right in my face.
I don't know what to think about it. I mean, as long as you have something to reference it on, I mean, I'm willing to take a look and just look into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just like that the story has something besides Jack and Rose.
Mm-hmm.
In my head, I don't know anything about that Titanic other than the movie. And let me I did like the movie. I just didn't go to the theater to watch it. I just was like, it's a good movie.
Why would a boat take 3,000 wool blankets out to the middle of the water? I mean, wool
and
of all things?
And 3,000 sweaters. Yeah.
I mean, you're going to be in water. Do you think that wool's going to help you stay warm?
I mean, once you get them on the ship, I mean, that's what they were wearing when they rescued them. Blankets and sweaters. And the only people on the ship were the ones running the ship. The only cargo they had was that, and it left 5 days before the Titanic. And it's owned by the same guy that owns the White Star Line, but that was a Red Star Line. So, I mean, there's a lot of weird coincidences in this.
And we don't believe in coincidences, do we?
No, like a lot of them. They're like, I said, they're little pebbles, but when you collect enough of them, you got a mountain.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
New catchphrase. Dude, it had a kind of an ancient proverb to that. Collect the pebbles to build a rock. Yeah. Your little theme song thing.
Yeah.
I like your catchphrase anyway, but that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's good.
Good topic, man. I like that.
You like that one? Okay, good. And it was, you could follow it. You understand.
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
It makes me wonder because, like I said, my only knowledge, I guess, is the movie and little bits of stuff on National Geographic. But this gives you the backstory and then past the sinking of other things. So it makes you wonder.
And you're going to put all the references to these books on the feed?
I mean, I could put the books in there, but no, I'm not going to list all the references. You can,
Okay.
I would just,
at least the books.
yeah, and then you can go and you can check out those. But I mean, some of those you could probably just look up online. You know, sometimes they let you look a few pages into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought it kind of mirrored a lot of things. You know, a lot of events that have happened since we've been alive. You know, they do the same thing. You know, I have a passage there. Don't go on the ship. Don't show up to work. Don't get on a plane. You know.
So you're telling me not to go to work?
Not today.
Yes. So even what seems not insignificant, but moments in history, they're not always what they seem or what they tell you. So what do you say about it? Question everything.
Question everything. Except for me. Thanks for tuning in to Podcast Radio. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to follow us so you'll never miss out. We'd like to hear your ideas too. If you got a topic you'd like us to cover, shoot us an email at podcast13@gmail.com, or you can text us at 904-867-4466. Just be sure to start your message with the code 2145499 so it reaches us. Until next time, thanks for listening, and we'll catch you in the next episode.